There's a quiet shift happening. More men are choosing to build happy lives without women. Not because they failed, not because they hate women, because they discovered that happiness can come from somewhere else. An argument doesn't just ruin an evening anymore. It steals your focus. It follows you into the next day. Some say they are done with women, and maybe it looks that way. They're not done with women, they're done with chaos. The priority of peace. David once told me he knew his marriage was over the night he sat in his car at 11 p.m. just to avoid going back inside. Not because of betrayal, not because of shouting, because he realized he felt safer in a parked car than in his own home. Drama used to feel exciting. It just feels expensive. One argument at night, a slammed door, and suddenly you're lying awake at 2 a.m. staring at the ceiling. Peace is no longer a luxury. It's medicine. And many men discover that peace itself becomes a source of happiness. Sometimes it comes from the sentence, "We need to talk." He no longer asks what another person can add to his life. He asks whether the life he already has feels peaceful. If the answer is no, he doesn't debate it anymore. A man can survive loneliness, but constant tension slowly breaks his body. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Peace protects the life you are trying to build. They reclaimed their time. Mark spent months transferring money to cover crises he didn't create until he realized he wasn't a partner. He was an unpaid consultant. He stopped paying, and suddenly he could breathe again. Being the fixture feels powerful until it slowly wears you down. Something broke, he handled it. When the bills were late, he covered them. After decades, he noticed something. Some problems never end because some people never plan to solve them. They just need someone else to carry the weight. Grown men stopped raising other adults. He stopped making other people's problems the center of his life. For the first time in years, his own life became the priority. Responsibility cannot be borrowed. Everyone eventually has to carry their own life. The time he once spent solving other people's problems now belongs to him. His health, his goals, his interests, his own life. If this resonates with you, a like on the video lets me know this conversation matters. And I'd be curious to hear your experience in the comments. They value clarity over attention. One day she's interested, 3 days later, she disappears. Then she comes back like nothing happened. Years ago, he would have spent the whole week trying to figure it out. Now he simply moves on. If someone wants to see him, they make time. If they don't, he already has his answer. He no longer builds his happiness around being chosen. If it's complicated at the beginning, it rarely gets simpler. Nonsense feels like bad customer service. You don't argue, you just stop coming back. Now he moves differently. He keeps things simple and expects the same in return. If it starts feeling messy, he steps back. No speeches, just distance. Clarity is faster than games. Not lonely, just comfortable alone. People see a man eating alone and assume something is wrong. Most of the time, he's finally relaxed. He's enjoying a meal without tension. For years, he was rarely alone. Relationships, responsibilities, expectations. Now, when the house is quiet, it doesn't feel empty. He does what he wants, leaves the remote exactly where he left it, and it's still there the next day. A small miracle in adult life. Once a man realizes he is okay on his own, happiness becomes a choice he can create for himself. Thompson used to dread Sunday evenings after his divorce, so he kept the TV on just for noise. One day he turned it off and sat there. 30 minutes passed, then an hour, and he realized the silence wasn't attacking him. It was giving him space. He doesn't need constant romance, but he chooses meaningful connection. He still meets his friends for coffee on Saturday mornings. He still shows up for the people who matter. Real strength isn't cutting everyone off. It's standing alone and still staying open. Some men mistake isolation for strength. They are not the same thing. His life didn't shrink, it just became simpler. There's a difference. He stopped treating solitude as a waiting room. He started treating it as a life. They protect their energy. For years, he accepted it without noticing the cost. Now he notices it immediately. Is this improving my life or simply draining my energy? Generosity is fine. Being taken for granted isn't. If he's always the one giving and rarely the one being considered, he notices. If he spends his evenings listening, he hopes the same patience shows up in return. He simply wants to feel valued. Happiness becomes easier when effort produces something in return. A man can give a lot, but he still wants to be seen. Balance matters. If respect and effort don't go both ways, time won't fix it. Seneca once wrote, "Associate with people who improve you." He doesn't expect perfection. Real connection still includes bad days and human flaws. The real difference is consistency. Respect cannot be one way. Respect must travel both ways. The power of not needing. He's no longer naive the way he was when he was younger. A sudden mood or a little drama no longer makes him anxious. A man named Simon had been single for years. He used to walk into parties looking for someone to impress. After enough failed relationships, something changed. Now when he walks into a room, he asks himself a different question. Do I actually feel comfortable here? He has experienced connection. He has experienced disappointment. He has experienced loss. None of it surprises him anymore. So he no longer scans the room for approval the way he once did. When a man says he doesn't care anymore, sometimes it's growth, sometimes it's exhaustion. The difference matters. If there's no curiosity, no spark at all, that isn't strength. A life with no joy isn't much of a life. He simply stopped confusing attention with happiness. That doesn't mean he's numb. A beautiful woman can still catch his eye. A great conversation can still make him curious. But curiosity is no longer enough. He pays attention to what happens after the attraction, whether life feels easier or more complicated. And if it doesn't feel right, he lets it pass. His excitement is now centered on his own life. That's when many men discover something unexpected. Happiness becomes easier when it no longer depends on another person. He finds joy in things he always wanted to try. And for the first time in a long while, he actually sleeps well. A man who no longer needs approval becomes harder to manipulate, harder to control, because he's grounded. They found purpose beyond relationships. Many men spent years building their identity around being needed. Then one day they discovered purpose doesn't disappear just because nobody needs them. Sometimes we have to let go of the role we've been playing for years. At first, it feels strange, like we've lost part of our identity. But eventually we stop trying to be someone's hero and start building a life that belongs to us. Many men discover that purpose returns the moment they start building a life they actually care about. Not only from being needed by a partner. If that's part of your story, feel free to share it below. They finally get to be themselves. Many men are simply tired of pretending. He already spent decades proving himself to other people. He doesn't want to impress anymore. For years, many men tried to become the perfect man. Then they discovered something strange. The rules kept changing. Eventually, they stopped performing and started living. If he likes fishing, he likes fishing. If he enjoys a quiet night at home, he enjoys it without apology. He's not auditioning for anyone. Robert once canceled a date after catching himself rehearsing lines in the shower to sound more interesting. Halfway through, he stopped and thought, "Why am I preparing a version of myself?" He stayed home that night and felt strangely relieved. Defending hobbies no longer interest him. Morning workouts, reading, cooking a few favorite meals. A life that already feels complete keeps taking shape. This isn't retreat, It's simply choosing where his energy goes. He no longer feels pressured to add something to a life that already feels meaningful. After decades of performing for bosses, clients, and expectations, a man eventually gets tired of performing in his personal life too. If a connection brings peace instead of pressure, he has no problem opening up. Mature love is not exhausting, it's honest. A peaceful life leaves no reason to pretend. Happiness grows when a man no longer spends his life auditioning for acceptance. He's not performing anymore. He's finally being. And for many men, that freedom feels happier than any role they were trying to play. The biggest surprise is not that some men live without women. The biggest surprise is how many of them are genuinely happy, not because they gave up on connection, not because they stopped believing in love, but because they discovered that a meaningful life can be built in many different ways. Many men spend years trying to find the right person. Then one day they discover a harder question. Can you enjoy your own life when nobody is watching? Living without women was never the challenge. Building a life that feels worth waking up to every morning was. More and more men are discovering that he can. And once a man stops looking for someone else to complete his life, he finally gets the chance to live it. If conversations like this matter to you, subscribe to Move or Die Stoic. There's a lot more here for men who value peace, clarity, and self-respect.